Whew. We made it. It's race day. Everyone hear me okay? I had to reset my microphone. Can I get a thumbs up on the audio here? Again, another away pre-race pull for me. These away games get tough. Let me see if everyone can hear me okay. Okay, Jacob, thank you. Well, we got a race. We got 2 option tires. And I don't have an idea what's going to happen. So, track was good yesterday. Got a little sun. Don't think I'm going to make it out today. It's just too hard to do the pull, and I care about this, and it's definitely a little. It's probably going to be good for live betting, but let's get into it. Let's get into the pull here. What's everybody drinking today? Anyone guess what I'm drinking today? I wonder if anyone can guess. The lag is a little too much. Probably going to have to just fire away here. Well, cheers, everybody in the desert. Going to take a little pull of the Modelo, but hey, happy race day. You know, let's stay green unless we need a caution. Okay, taking a pull. Ooh, tastes so good in the morning here. 6:30 a.m. in New Zealand. Oh, put a little Bailey's in there, Darren. Come on. You got to put a little something in there. It's a drinking show. It's a drinking show. I love that you're here, though. Thank you. Okay. Well, we had a bunch of different strategies in practice. We had guys start on the option tire, and then we had guys, start on the prime tire. We had guys run long runs, short runs, everything in between. There's a lot to unpack here. I don't have many bets for today, but I have a lot of thoughts. Hopefully we can distill those thoughts down into making it better too. But as of right now, my card is very light. I would say, since I do this professionally, I'm usually really good at beating the market. Usually. Let me just tell you the pre-practice and qualifying bets that I made this week. Alex Bowman at 50, you can now get a better price. Terrible bet. Ty Gibbs, I know he's not good, but I thought 30 to 1. That'll be good. Nope, you can get a better price. Chase Briscoe, 16 to 1. Thought that'd be good. Thought he'd qualify well. Hell, he was the favorite to win the pole. Now, so I got crushed early in the week. Just crushed. So that's where I'm at this point in the week. Is those 3 terrible pre-week bets. So to that, let's get into the actual race here. I'm kind of, like I said, I don't have multiple monitors here, so I kind of got to go back and forth. Yeah, I'm down bad. Yeah, it's tough spot. But hey, with an option tire, maybe these guys have a chance. Yeah. Okay, William Byron. Well, kind of shocked he's on the pole, although he qualifies well here. Let's see. He started on the primary tire, ran 10 laps. I would say a decent 10 laps. Pitted, came out for 4 laps. Pitted again. Was okay. Then he strapped on the softer tires and was okay, but then fell off pretty heavy at the end. Now, was that traffic? I'm not quite sure. He does not look like the best on the option tire. I don't think he's top 5 on the option tire. Maybe 5th. Okay. I thought there were other guys that were much better on the option tire. Yeah. Maybe the lack of CLV I have today will make up for all the CLV I've had in the past where I haven't won. So that's happened. I had a few bad bets last year. Both of them were on Logano, and both of them ended up winning. So Vegas Logano at 25 to 1 and Nashville Logano at 25 to 1. Both terrible bets, and both won fairly easily. So, yeah, William Byron, can he win? Of course. William Byron can win any week. He just can hang around. I don't think he has the best car today. I don't think he has the best car on either tire, but he can win. So if you like Willie B, I don't blame you. Joey Logano. Well, started on the primary tire. Thought he was pretty average on the primary tire relative to other people, especially his teammates. So not great. But 2 runs, 20, or let's see, he ran 35 laps and then what, 36 or 7 laps or 35 laps each, I think, 2 35-lap runs. Average on the primary, pretty damn strong on the option. Pretty damn strong on the option. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Joey Logano's good here at Phoenix, and he's really hard to pass, and he has track position. So I anticipate Joey Logano to be really good. I think maybe he has a good number. He's going to be around. I just think Logano's going to be around. If you don't, then you haven't been watching NASCAR at Phoenix for a while. Ryan, I agree. This screams a Joey Logano weird race win, and you have Paul Wolfe in his corner. So you have weird strategy. You have a lot of unknowns. I think Logano excels, and this is one of his best tracks. Did most guys did save their option tires. I'll get to the strategy here in a minute once I get through the rundown here. Hocevar, yeah, he went out there on the option tires first. He laid down 1 lap, which actually turned out to be smart because he qualified well. I don't know if they're just set up for short run speed. He was pretty good, much better than his teammate McDowell, in my opinion, on these option tires. But everyone that strapped on the option tire and then strapped on the prime tire was not very good on the prime tire. So Hocevar, man, if you have pre-week prices on him for top 10, top 5 stuff, okay, or outright, yeah, it probably overvalued at this point. I just don't see him regaining track position if he loses it. I just don't see that happening, not without a little luck. I don't see him just carving up the field if he has a slow pit stop. Josh Berry, not great on the prime tire, but pretty good on the option tire. He was good on the long run. He wasn't good on the short run in the option tire, but good on the long run. I don't know where I'm at on Josh Berry. I don't know if I trust him. Can you guys hear my son screaming in the background? Can you hear him screaming? The first option tire race at North Wilkesboro. I thought oh, my son is screaming, man. Can you guys hear that? Okay. Goodness. I mean, Josh Berry's not going to be that bad, buddy. Cheer up. I don't know. I think if you're betting Josh Berry, I think you could have a chat. You have a chance in matchups, right? I don't think he has a chance to win. He could hang around. I think that. Eric Jones qualified really well. Gosh, I don't like him pretty much anywhere, though. I thought he was actually not good. He didn't stay out long on primaries. The option tire fell off a lot. I don't think that Eric Jones is going to be good. We can all agree there. Chase Elliott. I find Chase Elliott very compelling today. He ran a very long run on the prime tire or the prime tires first and was solid. I thought he was maybe top 5 car, maybe better on that. When he pitted, made some changes, came back out on that same prime tire before he came out on the option tire. I like Chase today. I like Chase. Chase Elliott's your favorite sleeper. That's pretty sad if you're Chase Elliott and someone calls you a sleeper. You're a champion. You've won a ton of races and you're a sleeper. I think he's going to be sneaky good today. I like Elliott. What price would I take Chase down to? I know there's some 13 out there. I don't like him under 10, but I think I think you can get him live. Chase ain't flying to the front. We all know that. Yeah, I think I like Elliott. Something tells me that this guy's going to be fast. He was good. He's as good as he's looked here at Phoenix in a while. and I think he's going to be strong. He's been good here in the past. I think he's going to be strong. I like Chase. I like Chase, and he's a guy where if he's fast in practice and qualifying, or at least fast in practice, he very rarely no shows in the race. Rather just play HMS plus 245. Ooh, that's actually not bad. Ross, I think it's no, I think it's actually a no, I don't think it's a similar setup. I think that they set that car up differently. I could be wrong, but I would say that's very different. I would say the clash was probably similar to Martinsville than it would be Phoenix. All right, moving on. Michael McDowell. He fell off. I mean, the Spire guys, obviously, a lot of them went out early on the option tires. I thought he was not as good as Carson Osavar. He had a lot of fall off. He actually was one of the guys that fell off significantly on this prime tire, whereas no one else did. So I'd be fading Michael McDowell. He's a tough guy to pass, but I'd be fading him if anything. I don't think you can buy him at this price. Justin Haley, I'm not quite sure what he did. I think he went out on. Oh, he ran a long run there. I think he went out on the prime tire and then switched to the option, and then he kind of hung on for a long time on the option tire. I don't hate Justin Haley. Rodney Childers knows how to set up a car for this track. He also is pretty good at fall off. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Haley apologist, but I think that this kid's pretty good at managing his stuff. He's been good at Richmond in the Xfinity Series in the past. I like Justin Haley. I think he's got tremendous upside. I don't know about today. Just he doesn't look as strong, and he doesn't look as consistent as other cars to kind of hang around in that top 10. Let's see. Yeah, that's a great look. If you bet him early in the week, you did get value here. Oh gosh, my cousin just said Blake or Byron winning. That's just what he says every week. Let's see. Tyler Reddick. He started on the prime, went to the option. There were other guys that looked better, but I think pretty solid out of Reddick, about as good as he looked in the finale. Probably a 7th or 8th place car, probably pretty safe on Reddick. But he's a guy that can find speed when there's a little bit of fall off. He's going to be searching around. You kind of throw him in that Larson, Gregson camp. Other guys look better than him in the long run on both tires, though. So not super high on Reddick. But he's solid here, and he was solid here last spring, arguably, a top 3 or 4 car. So I anticipate him to be solid, but never contending for the win. Denny Hamlin started on the prime and then moved to the option, and we had some fall off on old Denny Hamlin. Reddick over Briscoe, what's that price? Yeah. Reddick struggles here. Reddick over Briscoe. What's that price, Blake? Let's see. Moving on. I think I don't know how you can get behind Denny Hamlin today. He looked like he had the worst fall off in the option tire. Pretty significant after 25 laps. I think there's a lot of drivers better than him today, and I don't think he's good here at Phoenix. I am anti-Denny Hamlin today. Again, if he loses track position at other tracks, he can work his way back up. If he loses his track position here, I think he struggles to find it again. And, if you look at the other Gibbs cars, they were not as strong as they've been here in the past. Now, Chris Bell's an anomaly of those cars, but Denny, historically not good here. He's been open about it. I can't see that turning around today without massive changes or just strategy and luck. Or the track is just hot and slick and Denny figures it out first. I guess that's an option. Remember, it's going to be much warmer today. There's going to be a lot more rubber on the track. I think that the track is going to change so much the last 30% of today versus what it was like in practice. I mean, it's almost like a different race. So I think you have to, you start the day with the baseline that you had in practice, and then you're just going to have to make adjustments all day to stay ahead of the track. Do I Do I think the 11 team has the talent to get it done? Yes. I just don't think that their baseline is a great place to start. Now, Chris Bell. Let's see. Oh, a weekday pod this year? No pod yet. Reddick Open 18 series on Monday. Got you some of that. That's not bad. Then a guy that practices bad but races better. Yes, at most tracks, but not here. J-Cac, that's pretty accurate. Thinking the best three, Blaney, Larson, Logano. I'll get into that in a second here. All right, keep going. Chris Bell. Well, he didn't look that good in practice relative to how he looked last year in practice. So if that's indicative at all of what you think is going to happen in the race, then this is not the same car he had last spring where he beat the brakes off everybody. However, he also didn't look as good in the fall last year and was able to lead a lot of laps. So if you like Chris Bell, by all means, it's Phoenix. Have at her, boys. Like, I think he's going to be strong. I don't know that he never looks amazing on the stopwatch. So I think he's just great in the long run. He's going to be good. You get 50 laps into a run. I anticipate that 20 car being able to find speed. You're now seeing him, he opened at 4-1. You're seeing 6.5 to 1. If you say you like Bell today, okay. You're not going to get any argument from me on that. Not any argument. Showed you enough in practice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Brian. Frisky. There's some 750s out there on Bell. Ooh, interesting. Briscoe's sneaky. We'll get to Briscoe. All right. McDowell's going to the rear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, if that's true, then McDowell's going to the rear. Ryan Blaney. Okay, on the primary tire, he looked the best. I don't know if you're I mean, it's marginal, but he's still better. He's certainly better than Reddick. He's certainly better than, Chase Elliott, and better than Logano. But is it enough? Is there enough lap time variance, or is enough are his lap times holding on long enough for that to make a difference? I don't know. Chris Buescher. I'm seeing a lot of people high on him. Okay. If you're high on Chris Buescher because he's a top 10 guy and he just figures it out and doesn't really qualify well, but towards the end of the race he finds himself in a good spot. Okay. Fair enough. But his practice times were okay. They weren't great. They actually didn't do that long. They only did a 23-lap run on the options when they came out. They went and made changes, and he wasn't much faster. So, and he didn't run long on the primaries. So, I don't know. Austin Cindric, gosh, this guy looked solid in practice. Kind of shocking off of last week, having just a 0 of a weekend for himself. At a road course when he's been fast pretty much everywhere. Again, I think Austin Cindric was fast this week. I do think that he was better on the primes than the options. Whenever there's a lot of fall off, I don't like Cindric, but there wasn't a lot of fall off with either tire. Or I guess there was less fall off with the prime. There was less fall off with the option. We haven't seen that crossover point. Let me talk about that crossover point really quickly. The crossover is when a tire becomes faster than the other. So you have the hard tire supposed to fall off less. It didn't. It fell off more. But at a certain point, the softer tire is supposed to fall off more. At what lap does that happen? And we haven't seen it yet. I would say we saw a lot of guys run between 25 or 35 laps, 35 to 40 laps, and they were faster on the option tire the entire time. So we haven't seen, maybe these things fall off a cliff at lap 45 or 50 or 60, but I don't know. I think Cindric's going to be solid. I don't think he's as good as his Penske teammates, but pretty solid. Kyle Busch didn't see much on the first tire. Ran 10 laps, pitted, made an adjustment, then ran 5 laps and 3 laps. Then he was pretty solid on the long run of the option tire. He went out there and he ran, 33 laps. I thought he was pretty solid. I guess that's just 33 laps of what I would consider solid laps. Pretty good. Manages fall off, really consistent fall off or consistent lap times, which to me just shows a good handling race car. Sometimes you can see guys run fast laps, slow laps, where when they hit it perfectly, absolutely that car's fast, but they struggle with the handling so much that once you get in traffic, that car's not able to make lap times. This is just really consistent fall off out of Kyle, anticipated being pretty good. And it's going to be hot and slick, and we don't know what's going to happen. I do think Kyle Busch is one of those guys where it's like, hey, if you got to go find speed, he can do it. And for whatever reason, he's off to a little bit hotter start this year than he's been in the past. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. By the way, this is Phoenix. This is Kyle Busch. But his price on an outright market's been kind of killed. So I also don't like him at 10-1. Maybe a matchup or two. Oh, Kyle's 18-1 on Bovada. Well, there you go. Yeah, Jacob, we'll get to the Busch teammate. Yeah, Suarez won. Yeah, Suarez at Richmond last year. Yep. Ring that bell, possibly. All right, AJ Allmendinger. I mean, I guess he qualified well for himself. I can't imagine he's going to be fast today. I imagine he's going to be doing a lot of bitching in the car. But whenever there's a lot of tire fall off, I do think AJ Allmendinger is pretty good at being like a wily vet that manages to kind of get things done. I don't see much out of him today. If anything, he's a fade guy depending on who it's with. Okay, now Kyle Larson. Everyone has Larson. I talked to Jeffrey Benson this morning, and he said that the liabilities for the books are Larson, Reddick, Elliott, and Chastain. They basically win everywhere else. So, the secret's out on Larson. Now, why are people playing Larson? I want to see in the comments. I want to see why people played Larson. Was it just price on an oval? Is that why? Why do people like to bet Larson this week? I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. I think it's an oval. You got 12. Okay. Mathematically due. Okay. Larson was written up by Nick Giffen on Action Network. Okay. What was the write-up? What did it say? Lap averages had him 1 in long run speed. Yep. Agreed. Number and Cliff Daniels. Okay, fair enough. I mean, these are all good reasons to have Kyle Larson. It's an oval and he's double digits. Okay, fine. Okay, now here's where I am going to talk a little bit about I don't want to like start any fights or anything. Okay, Kyle Larson went out on a faster track, and he was really the only fast car with the prime tires. We would all agree that the track slowed down, right? Yeah, Wormy noted, a Larson hater. Okay, we all agree that the track slowed down throughout practice. It got hotter and slicker throughout practice. I was there. It got hotter and slicker. Larson waited to go out. He did not have this burning fast lap that everyone else did, the Spire guys, right? He was 25th, I think, on the leaderboard. So he didn't get this lightning fast lap. He went out there when the track was kind of the fastest and ran a 33 lap run on the primes. So, or on the options, excuse me. So if he didn't look good, I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked if he didn't look like the best car. Now, I still think that yes, his run on the option tire was the best run, but it was also the only realistic run in that group of people that started on that tire. You can't compare Hendrick Motorsports to Spire, even though they're partners. That's not a thing. You can't compare Austin Dillon to Spire Motor or to Hendrick Motorsports. So yes, it was the best run, but when he put on the prime tires, he was not that good. He was not that good. Now, it might be better for track conditions. Maybe Cliff Daniels is thinking outside the box. But there's a very good explanation for why Kyle Larson looked the best on all those averages. When the track was the fastest, he had the fastest tires on, and he was competing against Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, and Chase Briscoe. Sorry, he's going to be at the top every time. He's going to be the top guy every time in that scenario. So although I do believe that Larson's going to be solid today, I do not think by looking at practice, and by the way, I'm not looking at one lap. I'm looking at all the laps. I do not think he's as good as he looks. Can he win? Absolutely. This is a place where he's won in the past, where you have to search to find lines. It's going to be hot and slick. I just don't think he's as good as he looks, if that makes sense. Yeah, Johnny, I agree. Like, do you have Kyle Larson, Johnny? Johnny J, respond. Do you have Kyle Larson? So that's why. I listen, I think Larson's going to be strong. When he opened 12-1, I knew that price was going to come down. But I also think he might be able to get a better price live. So with this, I said I changed. Yeah. So Johnny, you have, of course, you are trying to justify your bet on Larson. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you can't just say, you cannot say his times because the track was slower. That's why his times on the prime tire were slower. The reason that he was fast in the first place is because when the track was faster, he had the fastest tires. So you can't just one side that argument. And listen, I just try to be objective as possible. Do I think Kyle Larson can win today? Yes. Anyone that got him at over 10-1, great job. But I am also saying that when you look at lap times, that is smoke and mirrors, and you're lying to yourself if you don't actually average that out against the rest of the field on those same tire schedule. That's it. When it comes to Kyle Larson live, it all depends on how good he looks. It all depends on how good he looks. I don't just automatically fire at 10-1. Let's see. When he won at Phoenix, yeah, his pit crew got him up front. So that's my thoughts on Larson. Listen, when you look at his lap times, it looks like he's going to kill everybody. When you actually dig in a little deeper, it should look like he's going to kill everybody. Riley Herbst, a little bit of fall off. Wow, we're at 27 minutes already. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get behind Riley Herbst this week. He was really good here at Xfinity, but I don't know. Bubba Wallace showed some speed in places on the primary tire. Option tire, a little bit of fall off. So I'm just going to kind of go through these guys quickly. Brad K that was a struggle bus for Brad K. Yeah, struggling for Brad K. And he even commented when they asked him how his car was. He said, well, Chris is good. Austin Dillon. Now, I was kind of enamored with Austin Dillon, and Jacob, I know you were too, but here's the thing. He was on the same option tire as Larson when they started. So now Austin Dillon is just way below average. If you look at the last 15 laps that he ran and put them up against Kyle Larson's average on the faster tire was 28.2. And you compare that with the last 15 laps of Austin Dillon, and his average was 28.4. So Austin Dillon looked good in practice, but I mean, that's only because of the tire. And that just goes to show you how much faster, how much faster the track was at that point. Yeah, Adam, I agree that yeah, he opened 30-1 at some shops, and now he's 8-1. Yeah, he looked good. I think that they're just kind of flinching a little bit. I don't think he should be 8. I don't like him under 10-1. I mean, maybe 12-14. Yeah, Joey Brad was not that good. Yep, I agree. Slow the AD roll. Let's see. What did Derek say? Busher over Brad K? Yeah, I like that. Brad just sounds not happy with it. Yeah, Tim, I kind of like just having a couple outrights and then live betting. Okay. Stenhouse. Stenhouse was, I don't know. Stenhouse. I don't know how to handicap him anymore. He was fine. He looked about like Cole Custer. I don't know. Does that help anybody? Maybe a little better than Cole Custer. Ross Chastain. Here's an interesting one. Kind of thought he'd qualify better. Of the fastest 200 laps in practice, he had 11 of them. Chase Elliott had 11. Tyler Reddick had 10. Austin Cindric had 10. And then Ross Chastain had 11. So I think that this is the best bet on the board. The outright price on Ross is the best bet on the board. Couple reasons. He held on pretty good on the primary tire, and then on the option, he was good on the short and long run. He was very good. I think that he's won here before. He's been strong. I think I like this Chastain guy today. I think you could take him in matchups. I think you could take him in top 10 outright markets. I think that he was very strong. Do we have any disagreements there? You don't trust Ross through the field? Yeah. Okay. Where did he start when he won here? Yeah, old Ross. Yeah, you can't be soft Ross. Soft Ross ain't gonna do anything. Zane Smith. I got a text about Zane Smith today, but I'm not all that excited about him. I don't trust him to go through the field. He was decent in practice over the long run on the primes, but I don't know. Todd Gilliland, I thought he was significantly worse than Zane Smith. So if you want to make a comparison there. Ryan Preece didn't unload well. I feel like he races better. I had a problem with the fact he was pitting every 10 laps on that option tire. That usually doesn't bode well. That means that they don't have the feeling in the race car that they want. So SVG, not good on the prime tire, a little bit better on the option tire. Man, you don't qualify well, SVG. It's going to be real tough back there. Am I worried about Chase taking out Ross? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Adam, mid-afternoon Modelo. It's 11 a.m. here. This is a late morning Modelo. I don't know. I'm not high on Van Gisbergen. Okay, Chase Briscoe did not look as good on Larson when he started on the option tires, and then like Larson, he strapped on the prime tires and was not that good. I I don't know if those guys are getting a better reading. I just don't know. But Briscoe was significantly better than everyone else other than Larson on the option tire that strapped him on early. But it was really hard reading versus, his car was not good on the prime tire once they strapped him on relative to the option. Man, I'm getting so sick of talking about these damn tires. I think this is gimmicky and I hate it. Anyway, Daniel Suarez, lots of fall off here on the prime tire. Option tire slightly better. His teammate was good. Maybe he can glean something from that. I know that Hot Guy Pod has him top 10. I wish him the best luck. Alex Bowman, what a terrible qualifying with that slip. Barely beat anybody, but he was pretty good on the option tire. If he's good on the long run, I trust Bowman to kind of work his way through the field. This is the second time where I think the second week in a row where he's been good on the long run and has qualified terribly. And it's just done everything he could to get back up there and become relevant in the race, but it's so hard. And he made mistakes last week at COTA, even though I thought he was a great car. I don't want to say he's a great car this week, but I think he can move up. Once it gets hot and slick, I trust Alex Bowman to take a bad car and make it better. I don't trust that with William Byron. I think Alex Bowman takes bad starting positions and bad cars and turns them into okay. I don't know that Byron does that. Byron takes okay cars and turns them into wins. But he doesn't take bad cars and bad qualifying. But he also doesn't ever qualify bad. So I don't even know why I'm making that comparison. I'll shut up now. Noah Gragson, I don't know. I got nothing on him. Ty Gibbs, goodness gracious. I mean, Not good on the prime. And not good on the option. You got to think he's going to race better, but man, I want to take Barry over him. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger. Cody Ware, John Henry Nemechek, Catherine. We're not going to talk about them. Okay, here's what I think is going to happen. I think that everybody will. I think that everyone will start stage 3 for the most part. Everyone will start stage 3 on primes or on option tires, and then they'll break that stage up. That's what I think is going to happen. I think all race winning cars. Now, there might be some people that decide to just steal some track position. Those people can't win the race. I don't think you can win the race with one option tire. I think that's too much of a risk. So someone might try to just win a stage or just pick up some track position. But ultimately, they're just going to be good for that one run. They're going to be good for 45 or 50 laps, and then they're going to sink like a dump truck when they don't have them. After hearing this, I'll give them my top 3 in a second. Let's say you save a set. Let's just say someone decides to stay on yellows, and then halfway through the stage 3, they decide to take reds. I don't know that they can recover if there's a caution late. I just don't think they can. If you just think about this in your head, let's just say they're going to have to run 45 laps on yellows. They're going to end up, let's just say they're 5th place. They're going to end up 17th, and they're going to take reds, and they're just going to stay in 17th place because everyone else is taking reds. And then when let's say there's a caution with 30 more to go or 40 to go, or 40 laps later, you only have 20 laps. You have to make up 20 spots in 20 laps. I just don't know if you can do it, but I certainly think it'd be entertaining. And that's if they only fall to 17th. If you strap on the yellows, you might go to 25th. And if you don't start in the top 10, you might go a lap down. I just hate this race. I hate the 2 tires. I hate it. It makes it almost unbettable because you tell me when the cautions are going to fall, and I'll tell you the best strategy. But right now, I just can't. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, we think. What if there's a caution after 30 laps of the? There's 124 laps in the second or the final stage, right? You come down at lap 62 if you just cut it right in half, and then you run 30 laps, and then there's another caution. The people that save those tires, can they just drive through the field? I don't know. All right, top 10. Byron, Logano, Chase, Reddick, Bell, Blaney. I'm going to come back to Buescher and Cindric. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, and I'll say Chris Buescher. I don't know. I mean, Chase Briscoe, I think if he gets up there, he could be but that's a tough one. If anyone's going to struggle out of those guys, I'd probably say Reddick. Reddick would be the guy where I could see him struggling a little bit. Yeah, Adam said, or Larry Mack said the option tire was around half a second faster per lap than primaries. Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, the guys I'm going to take live are hopefully the faster cars. I don't have anyone specifically circled. I guess, the guys I think that could be good, I mean, that are starting deeper. I think Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Chris. I mean, I'll take anyone live, depending on how they look. I don't have anyone specifically circled. Bowman, I did not say top 10, but I do like his potential for a win. I mean, you got to get paid out if you're taking Bowman. Yeah, KFB could be sneaky. Maybe grab that 18-1. Yeah, I think it could be good. It'll be interesting to see. I'm very interested to see how Larson stacks up early in the race. Just with the way that he looked in practice. I don't know if that's the winning strategy, but Bowman even versus McDowell. Ooh, that's what Derek Yoder says. I'm not going to play anything before the race at this point. There's nothing I can see that's worth it to me. So Anything else? Any other questions? What do I got to do? I guess I got to pick a winner. Oh man, got to pick a winner. Yeah, another interesting. You need three drivers. The three best drivers today are, Logano, Blaney, Chase Elliott. Yeah, I'm leaving out Chris Bell. That just makes my skin crawl. Logano, Blaney, Chase Elliott. Those are the three best cars today, I think. Okay, I'll say this. I think the drivers that are going to outperform their expectations are Chastain and Elliott. We're under caution. I've been traveling so much. I got a new kid, and it's been so. We'll get the bet. The board is under caution, but not dead. Yeah, I don't know. This is a race. If I have to pick a winner, I hate this, but I'm going to say Blaney. But man, Logano up front's going to be real tough, and he looked good on the long run, and he looked better in practice this week than he did last year in the fall. So, yeah, maybe that Elliott is sneaky now. Yeah. Who started the practice on options? Larson, Briscoe, Hocevar, McDowell. Yes, that's correct. Fords win the fall, not the spring. That's your theory. Yeah. I don't have theories like that. I just look at lap times. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Any other questions? Henley is Laura pulled the trigger on Blaney. Yeah, I like Blaney. I mean, Blaney at Phoenix, you're never going to go wrong. You're in the 1 square mile of DC where you can't get a bet down. Podcasters do have it hard, Rob. I'm glad you can sympathize with that. Hail Mary McDowell to win. That I just don't see that happening. Spire is very optimistic. Will we expect passing? I hope so. I am not doing a pre-NCAA tournament poll. Lowry better, sick after yesterday. Is Keegan still going off, by the way? Yeah, Richard, it's crazy that he's never won, that Blaney's never won here. Yeah. Hot Guy Pod says it's not easy coming out with episodes every week. I don't know. I got a lot to say. I'm just on the move so much. We'll get her going again eventually, I imagine. Anything else? Last final guess or final questions? Will there be OT? I mean, wouldn't that be something if I just don't know how you restart 10th with, let's just say everyone in front of you is on the primary, and then the guy that starts 10th is on the option tires. I mean, does that get it done? It did it at Richmond, maybe. How are my cars going to do today? Well, Brad's not going to be great. I think Priest is going to finish a little bit better than where he started. Of course, can't get much worse. And I'm not optimistic about the 6 car. However, I am optimistic about his driving. And if he can figure something out, maybe. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Liability is for Circa is Larson, Reddick, Elliott, Chastain. Those are the liabilities. So I think 3 of those guys can win the race. I don't think Reddick can. So yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming in, everybody. I got to go. There's screaming babies and kids everywhere, and got my mom in town, my sister, 3 nephews. Ah. All right. Well, get it done. We'll talk to you later.